Hello, Pathways students. I don't even know why I say that. Pathways students. You're just students, but you're in my Pathways class, so that's what I call you. Hey, so we're talking about the ear today. And ear, there's different parts of the ear and how we hear. And this is your ear lobe, we know that. But you may not know what this is called. This is called the pinna up here. And it's designed, it's shaped, has these ridges in it to catch sound waves. As sound waves come by, if they're going this way, they get caught in that pinna and kind of wrap around and go into your ear canal. Sounds from the side get funneled in, you can hear better. Sometimes people will even cup. If you can't hear something, it's designed to catch more sound waves like that. So we're going to talk to you about how your ear works and how you hear with your brain. You do not hear with your ears. These are useless unless there's a brain attached to it. And there's a little demonstration that I want to do to try to explain that a little bit more, give you the sense of it. I used to watch the AAFV, America's Funniest Videos, when my kids were little. They liked it because they watch people get hit in the nuts with the baseball bats and stuff like that. So they like to see people fall down. Just a little kid thing. I don't know what it is, but they liked it. Part of that show was they would do a game called Name That Sound. And what they would do would be to play a sound, and you would try to figure out what it is. And you can almost feel your brain working because there's just no context for the sound. There's no meaning to it. So your brain is just searching, trying to figure out what it is. So it's pretty difficult. So I wanted to do that with you as a demonstration of how you hear things with your brain. And without your brain having some knowledge about what it is, it's hard to identify the sound. You hear something, but you can't put any context to it. So I'll give you what that sounds like. And I'm going to put my earphones on here to make sure we're capturing the computer audio along with my mic audio. So I'm just going to put this on for a second. Yep.
Name that
So you think you know what that sound is?
sound.
And there you go. Okay, here's another one.
Name
Take a guess what that is.
that sound.
Now it makes a little more sense. I think there's one more. All right, let me put my headphones back on so I can hear it, because I can't hear it unless I put these on. That's a good one.
Name that sound.
You might have some idea, but can you name exactly what it is? You may not have been doing camel. All right, so that gives you some idea. So let's take a look at the ear. And here's a video, and I'll be more the narrator than this computer voice that's on here. So this is showing, hey, this is a speaker, and what a speaker is doing, it's going to vibrate back and forth. It's getting a signal, and it's going to vibrate. And when it vibrates, it's going to vibrate the air coming out. And there's going to be some vibrations in the air. And those are longitudinal waves. That's how a speaker works. Even those little AirPods or earbuds you put in, they have tiny little speakers in there. Okay, and they're sending out. Now, here's our pinna, and there's the ear canal there. So those compressions and rarefactions are coming towards your ear. And we'll travel inside here. All right. So now we're looking at your face and cut away everything, looking at the inside. Here's your ear canal here, and the sound waves, the air, travels down through here. and then it hits this little membrane. This is your eardrum. And when those sound waves hit it, it's like a piece of plastic wrap. When those eardrums, that will start to vibrate. And then 3 of the smallest bones in your body are right here. And this is the hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup. That's the common name. There's more medical names for them, but the more common names are hammer, anvil, and stirrup. And you're going to see that that air that's been moving is being, well, it's gone, is going to start moving these pieces. So it starts hitting that eardrum, and you can see how it starts moving that hammer. The hammer is leaning right up against it, which moves the anvil, which moves the stirrup, which bangs up against this cochlea here. So one problem is like, well, somebody say, well, I don't hear really well. Well, one problem is there might be a blockage in this ear canal. Extra earwax, an object, a beetle. If you have something lodged in there, you're going to disrupt those sound waves coming in. If you've damaged your eardrum, you can see if this isn't working right, it's not going to send the signal here, or to here, or to here, or to here. If any of these bones are misshapen, not working, broken, then you're not going to hear well. Years ago, I worked at a different school. There was a girl from Ethiopia in the school, and she had no hearing in her one ear because when she was little in Ethiopia, the local warlords came into their village and were kidnapping all the men and the boys to go fight for them. And when they came into her hut in the middle of the night, she stood up to try to get to her dad, and this guy hit her in the ear, hit her in the side of the head with the butt of his gun. And what that did was it broke these bones, and she never got them fixed. So in her one ear, she had hearing loss because those bones were broken, and this whole little chain of events never happened. Okay, so you can see that vibration from those sound waves, the compressions hitting the hammer, the anvil, the stirrup, and then that's banging up against this snail-like structure called the cochlea. And what we'll do is we'll go inside of there, and you can see what's going on inside of there. All right, so we'll go inside the cochlea. So this is a tube that's sort of wound up, and we're going to unwind it here so you can see inside. And it's filled with fluid. Okay, this is what it looks like on the inside. There's fluid in there. This is part of the reason why you get dizzy. If you get that fluid inside those tubes moving around, it throws off your balance and you get dizzy. That's why it happens when you spin. You get dizzy. So inside of here, as we cruise on into the inside, we'll zoom in a little bit. You have all these little structures here, these little hairs. Remember, this is all filled with fluid. And you have all these little plates, these little nerve endings. And as the sound comes through, it moves different parts of these plates right there. And then what happens is that moves these tiny hairs in there. And as those hairs move right there, as we zoom in, as they start to move from the fluid moving and these moving, they are connected to nerves. And that's what starts to send a signal to your brain as to what the sounds are. Now, the different parts of these, if you can kind of think of it like a piano key, there's the one end of the piano is the low sounds and the other end is the high sounds. Different parts of this are for different pitches and sounds. So one area will be for lower sounds and one area will be for higher sounds. And you can see different parts moving based on the different sounds coming in. And if one of the ways you can damage your ears, and this is what mine is, these little hairs over years, they sway back and forth. The more the sound, the bigger the sound, the more the compression, the more these move, the more the hairs move. Well, what could happen over time if you have those little fibers, those little hair-like things going like this for years over loud sound and loud sound, you could imagine they break off. Once they break off, you don't hear those sounds anymore from this moving because they can't be activated because they're not moving. Or you break them off and they move in such a way that it distorts the sound. It's not the original sound because they're not the same length they were before. That's a lot of times when you hear, like I have tinnitus of ringing in my ears because these little hairs right there are broken off. So they're constantly giving this weird high-pitched sound because they're not working properly. They were broken off. So constant exposure to loud noises gets this cochlea, these little fibers in here, to sway really hard back and forth. And that's why if you go to a concert or you're shooting a gun or do something real loud, you'll hear a ringing in your ear right afterwards. Well, you keep doing that enough, that's because you hurt them. But if you damage them, then it'll be permanent ringing. That's not a great thing. Take it from me. So that's some of the hearing you have. Or you could have a damage from this nerve that goes to your brain. You could have damage there. One thing you could do, some people's cochleas don't work. You may have seen someone with a little implant right here. It's like a little round disc, and then it goes into their ear, and that's called a cochlear implant. And it does is it takes the place of this cochlea. Everything is working fine except for their cochlea. And you can actually, because this is an electrical signal, they can replicate that. And you can get a cochlear implant to replace this if it doesn't work at all. So let's do, I think that's all I wanted to talk about the ear. That was it. All I want to talk about ear. Check out some other one of those name that sound and see if you can figure out what it is. Also, there was an old saying. The question is like, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it, does it make a sound? And it seems like a weird question, but when you think of it, if something was to fall, those sound waves would travel through the air. But if nothing was there to hear those sound waves, they would just be sound waves going through the air, and you interpret that sound as falling tree. Just like right now, wherever you're at, there's a car driving by, but if it's so far away that those sound waves never get to you, that car is not making a sound to you. So if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? Well, it produces sound waves, but if no one is there, if there's no mechanical ear there to collect those sound waves and then interpret it, there is no sound. It's just sound waves traveling through the air, and that's all it is. So take a couple more, if you wanted to take a look at some of those more of those videos on name that sound and try and figure out what they are. And we will continue with cell phones and earthquake, seismic waves to finish up this unit. Okay, everybody. Talk to you later.